Ladies and gentlemen, get comfy, grab a snack, grab a juice box, smash the like button on your way in. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. F's in the chat for the Razor Crest. We're going to get started in just a second, but chat, let us know, out of 10, how would you rate this episode? How would you rate it?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Al, how would you rate this episode, man?
Man, I'm gonna say 10.
Wait,
10?
What was that? 10?
10? 9 piece.
You giving it a 10 piece?
Damn it! It's getting a die. It's getting a 10 pennies. It gets it all, every point.
So, have you also
Every
noticed
point.
this crazy snow that's in the studio?
Yes, I have. It's a little, and the funny thing is, it's not even cold.
No, it's not. It's actually pretty nice in here.
Only thing cold around here is Boba Fett. But we gonna get into
yeah,
that.
man. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. At first, I was trying to say maybe this episode wasn't a 10. Like, maybe this episode was a 9, 9.5, 8.5 or something like that. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It perfectly sets up what we're going to get in the next 2 episodes. And I don't know if you could do a better setup
That's what I'm saying.
for all the craziness. So it's
That's what I'm
sort of like the
saying.
perfect episode for where we need this episode to be, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%, man. Like the way they did this, And shout out to my homie Lavis. I got to give him props. He called it. He said that they were going to show up on Tython right at the off the rip. So he called that. I actually felt like this was exactly kind of the way they were going to set it up. Now I didn't think that they were going to actually get baby, get Grogu, you know what I'm saying? But I figured what was going to happen was that they'd have a run in with Gideon and it would cause Din to have to round up all the troops and just get everybody on board and ride out. But the way they did it though, I didn't see this coming, man.
I didn't see this
coming at all.
I thought they were possibly gonna make a big deal of going to Tython. And I believe it's actually a challenging planet to get to because it's in the deep core. And so I was like, okay. But no, they go right there. And not only do they go right there, but Grogu gets on the stone and then immediately crazy force magic Jedi type stuff, beacon into the sky, impenetrable force field type stuff. And I was like, whoa.
What? Bruh, like seriously, like you sitting there, I'm watching that episode and it's just like, I didn't think it was possible for my jaw to hang any lower because it was like they jumped into it, like you said, right off the rip. And then, you get the force field and he's just there and you're like, oh, this is insane.
Crazy.
Like it was insane the way they handled that. It was like, and then you see Din like trying to get through it and it's like bouncing him off of it. And it's just like, oh man, like they went for it. They went for it.
Speaking of going for it, how about that shot and that music when Slave One comes in to Tython? And just like, I was like blown away, dude. It was one of those moments, man. I was watching it out and like we've been saying for a while, literally ever since that episode where we see him at the end, you've been kind of thinking to yourself, he could pop up at any moment, especially after Din gets hijacked and can't just get into town. Boba could easily track him. It's Boba Fett.
Exactly.
That's what we've been trying to say, despite what people like Lord Vito think. Like, it's Boba Fett. He's basically Batman. Okay? So,
you know what I'm saying?
The guy comes in and what an entrance, man.
Oh man, it was everything that I wanted and nothing that I expected.
Yeah.
Like you said, we knew that it was at any given point, and we had gotten to the point where it's like you got to kind of start wondering just exactly when they're gonna drop, some more Boba. And in this moment, like the way that they set it up, what I thought was so slick was in that very moment, that's the last person you expected to see. Because
I thought Luke was about to pop up or something.
Bingo. Yeah. That's what I thought the same thing, because it's like once you realize and you wrap your mind around the fact that they're going straight to Tython, you automatically start expecting a Jedi to show up. Like that's the one thing you're expecting that, and it's like, okay, so wait a minute, and you get the force field joint, and then the next thing you know, you see Slave One, and it's like, oh, hell no, yeah, they finna do this now. And it was just like, it was the perfect entrance for Boba. Like Boba finally got his just due, and he basically walked out and looked into the camera and said, "Shut your ass up, Vito."
Pretty much, dude.
That's literally what he did.
It felt like
man.
something out of like an 80s action movie. Only thing missing was like a cigar in his mouth. I have half a mind to think that he put some kind of short cigar in his mouth anyways when he put the helmet on. It was amazing, dude.
Man, it was crazy.
It with him, dude. The work he did with that club. We were talking about this before we went live.
Yes,
man, it was vicious. And they show that mangled up dude at the end, that mangled up stormtrooper, and you're just like, holy cow! Like, dude, this dude's doing work. Not only that, but he comes in, he's whooping up everybody. They're making their escape, and he gets a 2 for 1, dude. He gets a 2 for 1.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because they like literally, and this goes back to why this show is so damn dope, is it wasn't just that Boba came out and kicked ass, but he showed what that armor is able to do with somebody who knows what they're doing. Because we got to see Cobb Vanth do his thing with it, right? And he did the rocket and everything else. But like Boba just went next level with everything. Like he had kneecap rockets,
Dude,
bro. Like,
right?
was
Kneecap rockets. And when they
like,
saw the kneecap rockets, they were out. They were like,
Done.
we
They were like,
this
"It's a wrap."
isn't in the manuals.
They look gonna do it for Friday. Like, get away from me from out here messing with
Can
these
you just shoot
people.
rockets out of his goddamn knees. Get out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
Retreat. Yeah. No.
Oh,
crazy, dude. Crazy. So
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
a big important deal for them to make him seem as, as badass as possible. Mission accomplished there.
Oh yeah.
He was with Fennec Shand, which is again something that we've called, something that the fan base was pretty, up on. Here's something that's really interesting. The rumor, ladies and gentlemen, the rumor is Boba's playing a big role in season 3 of The Mandalorian. A big role. The scoop this week, or one of the big stories, was all about the cockpit of Slave One. Well, now that makes a little bit more sense, right? Because the Razor Crest is gone.
Gone bye-bye.
And not only that, Al, but homie literally said, pretty much, I have a life debt with you now. Like until we get the child back, I'm chilling with you, which could lead me to believe they might not get Grogu back this season, dude.
I don't necessarily think that's totally crazy to think either. Like I really don't, because the way that they've set this up now, it could be a situation where even if they do kind of like pop up on Gideon, like they can drop the Thrawn card.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And Thrawn, we know if Thrawn is involved in this at any point at all, he already knows what's coming. Like this man is like, he's already going to be able to, figure a way out of that situation. So it's like they could definitely go that route, and you could definitely see them, end up with, especially when you look at season 1 and they were able to, they were successful in protecting Baby Yoda. And at the end of season 1, Din Djarin had Baby Yoda with him. But season 2, it could be the very opposite. It could be the Empire or Gideon has got Baby Yoda with him, and he's like, y'all not getting Grogu back, man.
I know, right?
No, you got to sit on that and wait for it.
Crazy. So the other thing, I think to me, the most shocking part of the episode is the scene at the end with Grogu and the stormtroopers. I think it's literally, and the show's so good at doing this, where like the bulk of the episode and the meat and potatoes of the episode is really like Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, some Jedi stuff, which we're going to get into because it's so clear now that like there's a Jedi coming, right? But the scene with Grogu and the stormtroopers, not only does it indicate that this dude was trained, I mean, to me, it's like he's a Palpatine trainee for sure, but Gideon literally says to him, you're getting really good at that, meaning he's seen him do it before when he was less good.
Right.
Meaning he's witnessed the training.
Exactly.
He knows it makes him sleepy. Like, what?
Exactly.
So what do you think? What's your take? What's your take on that? Yeah.
I think this is another hint, and I'm gonna say it. I wasn't so sure after seeing, the Ahsoka episode, but I'm right back on that train, man.
Yeah.
Evil Baby Yoda, let's go,
dude, for sure.
Let's go.
The way
man.
he was
like
ripping them around like that, the double choke, the slamming, and like it looked crazy, dude.
It wasn't just that though, man. Like the thing that you have to see, he was having fun.
True. Yeah.
He was enjoying what he was doing.
True.
That's what's crazy. Is it wasn't just that he was doing it, because he wasn't doing it and trying to get anywhere. He was just straight having fun, torturing like the shit out of these stormtroopers.
Yep.
That's what's crazy. I was like, oh, bro, yeah, they teasing me again, man. They teasing me again.
It's wild. And in some ways, the whole episode is just another doubling down on explaining how important Grogu is. I mean, you've got the scene with Din at the beginning. It's a strange opening, dude. It's like a really sort of heartfelt scene between them. Very strange, where Din is basically just confirming that he's trained, and then he's like thinking, like kind of thinking back, I think, to some of their moments together, and he's like, if I knew you were trained, and don't you want? He's like, I can't train you. Like, don't you want to learn more cool Jedi stuff? I thought that it was really cool, but it's really sort of just to indicate again that how special Grogu is. And then when he's on the mound, dude, he goes from like, I don't know what's going on to Rafiki,
all of a sudden I'm
like
back
real quick. Like, bro, how much is this little creature pretending? Like, how much is he downplaying his abilities, you think, throughout the season 1 and etc.?
I think what we're seeing is it's not so much that he was downplaying them, but that they were suppressed for so long that he's starting to slowly get them back. Okay. And it's like he knows how to do this stuff. Yeah. It's just a matter of him unlocking that part of him because it was hidden away for so long. And it's like he's like, oh, so yeah, it's nothing for me to lift up this Rancor because I'm like I've done worse or I've done better. And it's like you see what he's doing with the we saw what he did with Cara Dune in the first season, and now he's doing it with two. They show him doing it with 2 stormtroopers in this season. So it's like, to me, it's like dude is just like, oh yeah, I'm starting to remember this now.
That's pretty wild.
Now it's coming back to me.
Pretty wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And just say I see the super chats. I appreciate the love. We will do Q&A in a little bit, guys. We're just gonna sort of talk a little bit more about the episode, and then we will save time for Q&A where you can drop super chats and we'll answer what you guys talk about. Yeah, man, really, really wild. Also seems like he's teaming up with Cara, and he's gonna possibly go get Mayfield, right? So seems like he's going after, like he's building the squad essentially.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What do you think? Who else is popping up?
Well, I think you get Grief Karg is gonna have to be there. You know what I'm saying? I think you're gonna get. I don't think we'll see Mythrol or the Mythrol anymore. But I think Cobb Vanth will show up and be a part of that deal. I think that Ahsoka will show back up. I think Bo-Katan and her squad will be in tow. Like, I think that they're going to set up this huge epic showdown for the season finale. Yeah. Like, it's going to be all hands on deck, and it'll be Boba, Mando, Fennec Shan, and then all of these other cats showing up and making that and doing it and coming at Gideon. And I'm like you, I don't think even after that they'll be able to get Grogu back. So
let me ask you this. This is just popping into my brain. What do you think about this whole tone shift halfway through the season? Remember?
Yeah.
Do you see a tone shift?
I remember. And no, not really. Neither. Not from anything that we've gotten this season. I mean, I guess maybe you could say that from the up until this point, the episodes were more based on Mandalorian and kind of his journey, whereas now it's opening up to this broader kind of almost showcasing these other characters. So like episode 5 was more about Ahsoka. This episode was more about Boba Fett and Moff Gideon getting, Grogu back. Yeah. So maybe that's where they figured the tone shift was, because it's not so much about Grogu and his relationship with Din as it is the characters surrounding those two. Sure. And them being more of in the background. That's the only thing I can notice though. That's to me, that's like stretching to find something, but no, I so far haven't seen anything that makes me go, well, that's completely different from the first few episodes. I don't buy that at all.
To me, even episode 1 sort of sets up that it's Mando and friends. It's super friends this season, right? So like, exactly. I think it's made sense the whole way, and this is just another example of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll be interested to see what happens in the last 2 episodes, but I can't imagine that someone would say that just because of the episode with Ahsoka. Even though that we're meeting all these new characters and doing all this cool stuff, everything still feels connected to a quest. He's bringing him to the Jedi. Yeah. That's the whole thing, right? So I don't know. For me, it all feels the same tonally,
Yeah, and maybe that was something. Maybe they felt the need to kind of put that out there because they knew these last few episodes were going to get real sweaty, and they didn't know how the normies would respond. Like I'll tell you, perfect example. Like my wife flipped her shit when Baby Yoda was gone. Like she was done. Like she was just like, I need to talk to Jon Favreau. This is some BS. And it was like, and so maybe that's what they were. Maybe that's what they were afraid of. So that's why they kind of floated that out there. But that, I mean, even still, man, like the way it was written, and the way it's come across so far. Like I don't see some huge tone shift. I haven't seen it at all.
We'll keep an eye on that as well. Another really cool aspect of the show, of course, is Boba's place within Mandalorian culture actually being pretty explicitly spelled out. And what's funny is we had actually talked about this, and we were pretty certain that this was the way that they were going to do it, that Jango was going to be a foundling, and that he was going to sort of be brought into the Mandalorian culture by one of their own, and gifted the armor and sort of brought in. And we see the chain code. We see Boba name drop Jango. Yeah. We see him talk about being a foundling. I mean, what did you think of all that?
Yeah, man, I think it was perfect. I think that whole setup and that whole exchange was dope. And it was, like sometimes the simplest explanation is the best one. Like we don't have to have some convoluted backstory. We just needed to know that, Jango was a foundling. And so by that explains the background as far as we needed to get it. And I think, and I told you this, and most people I'm sure caught it, but again, just one of the small things about the way that this show is written that I think is so dope is they have the callback where Boba basically explains himself or describes himself to Din Djarin as a simple man trying to make his way across through the galaxy, like my father before me. And I'm like, bro, like this is why Favreau and Filoni just need to take it. Man. That's why they just need to take it, because it's like this is what we have been asking for. So yeah, I thought it was dope, man, the way that they explained it. And I'm like, let me know what else is in that chain code.
Yeah,
though.
Right.
Like what other kind of information is in there? Like, do we get to know, like, or can you get to see like what clan or what house they were aligned, like he was aligned with and stuff like that? Because I think there's implications even in that. Yeah, so it's like I'm really interested in that stuff, but it's just, again, the way it's simple, but it was so effective the way they handled it. So I love it.
I loved it too. And there were a couple of, I think, moments that foreshadow Boba accepting Din as his ruler, actually. And I know that seems like quite a leap, but he said there was something about following the creed, and I believe Boba says, I follow no one, or something to that effect. Basically, like, I bow to no one, or I follow no one.
I think he said something about his allegiance, my allegiance is to no one, or I pledge my allegiance to no one. Yeah.
And so later on in the episode, after the Razor Crest is RIP'd, when Din is holding up the spear, Boba gives him this like weird look, and you can see it like hit him in a certain way. And I think he saw like something there, you know what I mean? And I think they're going to play off that moving forward, because look, I really think they're setting Din Djarin up to be the Mandalore and to be the new one. And I know right now Bo is the rightful ruler, and I'm not saying they can't make that work as well. But there's something about Din Djarin and this journey that he's on. The fact that he now shares this foundling thing with Boba is so cool. Like the fact that they have this similar kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. I'll tell you, that whole scene with the spear struck me kind of in a different way. What I thought when he looked at him was he had flashbacks of his pops. Because
the silver
armor, the Beskar armor is silver. Yeah, it had the same. And maybe he's seen, or he saw as a child his father fighting with a similar staff to that, like a Beskar staff. And like when he saw, Din Djarin standing there posted up, it was like he, in that moment, kind of realized and was like, okay, this is what I've got to lean on the creed from here, because this was what my father instilled in me.
I like that. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope right there. Yeah, man. I like that.
That's what the way it hit me. I was like, Oh, bro, he's still having daddy flashbacks
Yeah,
right now.
totally.
Like that's crazy.
Okay, so
it was wild,
let's
man.
talk about the beacon. The beacon went off, dude.
Let's get into it, man.
It seems like it's calling Jedi. What's gonna happen with that? What do you think?
I think what's gonna happen. I think it did. I think somebody definitely had to see that. Somebody had to see that, and I think what it's going to do is lead somebody to Tython to try to figure out what happened, and what they're going to show up and see all of these stormtroopers doing the Nate Robinson challenge all over the damn field. Like, what the hell happened here? Yeah. And I don't know what Jedi that's gonna be, but that's the way I think I see it going. Is like there's gonna be a Jedi that ends up, whether we actually see them do that or whether they pop up in this season or the following season, and that's the explanation we get. I think that incident or that event is going to kick off something in this new kind of timeline. Like that's not going to be a throwaway thing. Like we're going to come back. That is going to have some kind of significance, and we just got to see where it's going to land. But that's the way I look at it. Is I think that it's going to end up leading some Jedi back to Tython to try to piece together what happened on the planet.
So I'm going to bring back a phrase, a hashtag actually, that we tried to popularize before The Last Jedi. And I can't believe that we have a chance to actually use this hashtag again and have it possibly actually, we got a second chance here. We got a second chance, baby. And the hashtag is...
Hold on. Before you do that, though, before you do that, give me a second. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Would you mean this one?
Yes, sir. Ignite the green. Hashtag ignite the green, man. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gonna go ahead and need that.
Yes. Yes.
Whew, dude,
bro,
I need it to be Luke. And I see no reason as to why it can't be Luke at this point. And if Grogu is really this important, I see no reason as to why Luke wouldn't help out. Just take a little pit stop, Luke. Help him out just a little bit.
Yeah, man. See, I've been back and forth about this, man. Like it makes sense, but I just don't know how I feel about it being Luke. Now, I'll say now I'm all for it because I didn't want Luke to show up on Tython with like everything going down and steal the damn show. Like I didn't want that. I didn't want to see Luke show up and then everybody gets so caught up in the fact that Luke's back that it takes away from everything we've gotten in this season or in this series. So, but now that we're basically off Tython, because I'm assuming that, the Slave One, they dip, they gone, they out of there. And the Empire, Gideon, they took off too. They out of there. Yeah. So whoever shows up, if it's Luke, then that would be perfect because Luke shows up and Luke's probably one of the only Jedi that could maybe figure out what happened.
Right, exactly. Because everybody else is going to show up and be like, well, nobody's here.
Well, nobody's here. Time to dip.
We out.
Luke is going to look deeper into that, and Luke's going to figure, man, oh my.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, ignite hashtag.
That green, baby. Oh, man, I need to see it. It'll be very, very cool. And we're heading towards stuff that we just have no idea, and it's so exciting, man. It's so exciting. I can't believe they keep doing it, but they keep doing it, man, and I am here for it as a Star Wars fan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially going into the Q&A section of the stream. I'm going to start getting through these super chats. If you have a question you really want answered, drop it into the super chat. We'll answer every super chat that comes in, or at least we'll try to for a while. But then we'll try to grab some from the regular chat as well. Lord Vito, $5 super chat says, let's be real. Boba was really always awesome in canon, but this was a really cool moment as well. Amen, Lord Vito. Glad to see you have turned it around.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jay Jamone, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. Sam Shills, the $20 super chat, very generous, says, do you think we will see why Boba let Cobb have his armor all this time? And happy birthday again. You deserve a great time this weekend. Thank you, Sam Shields. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the love from the Nerd Vengers. And yes, I have a birthday this weekend, and so we're not going to be streaming this weekend because I'm going to take the weekend off. But yeah, do we think that they'll give an explanation about why he let Cobb wear the armor? What do you think, Al?
Yeah, man. I don't know if we necessarily need one, but I mean, they may give it to us. But I think that's something where it's like he was maybe, waiting for the right time. Like he knew where the armor and so it wasn't like he had a need for it.
Right.
I think if Boba had a needed that armor, he'd have rolled up on Cobb and been like, yo, let me get that.
Right.
But him knowing where it is, he can see and was probably keeping tabs on dude and knew what it was being used for.
Right.
So I think this Boba, and this is what I love about Boba right now, is they're setting up a Boba that has a different point of view than what he had as just the bounty hunter we got in the OG trilogy.
Right, I know.
Like this Boba is more, he's got way more depth. So I could see this Boba being like, you know what? He's got the armor. It's harmless right now. As long as it's there, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, dude.
And then, enter Din Djarin and he's got it. So again, what does Boba do? He just starts tracking that dude. And he's like, let's see what happens with the armor at that point. So I don't think they necessarily need to explain all of that or have him come out and outright say that. I think it's something that you could really just infer.
Sure. No, I think that's totally fair, man. Couple more super chats from Lord Vito here. Seems to be really hyped on Boba. Always loved Boba. Very excited about Boba being a beast. Boba beast. I'll admit that. Always was dope, but this was really cool. The show's all about Grogu, but dang, I'm real excited for that Boba stuff. Dang, Vito, man, just gushing about Boba. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, Josh's birthday is Saturday. Deploy the birthday wishes. Yes. Appreciate you, Vito. Appreciate the love, man. Nolo says, actually, someone else here says, crap, hang on. Misa says, you guys believe some sort of gathering of skilled fighters can happen and perhaps have an Endgame sort of ending, hence to have Din save the child. What do you think? Are we going Endgame level to save the child?
I think they are going to go in-game level, but I don't think it's going to work.
Ooh, yeah, I'm kind of right there too, man.
I think they're going to be everybody kind of assembling under Din and Boba and them showing up and having a plan. But you know how it always goes, right? Man.
Yeah, indeed.
You like Thrawn and this would be, I think, for me, the perfect way and the perfect cliffhanger for season 2, the finale, is they are within arm's reach of Grogu. Like they're right there. They didn't made their way through Gideon and everything else, and then all of a sudden Thrawn shows up,
shuts it down,
and he's like, nah, not happening.
I thought about that exact same thing, and it would be a really cool way to do it as well, just to have it like be that like, okay, yeah, they're finally gonna get Gideon, and then Thrawn shows up. It would get wild, man. I mean, it's so crazy already. It's so interesting to see where it's gonna go. Yeah. I think we're getting a gathering of skilled fighters either way, so it'll be interesting to see like how far they push that. I don't know. We'll see. B Stone says, happy B-Day, Josh. Love the channel. Have a great weekend off. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Mark Anderson with the $5 holla says, the Rolling Stone that killed the Stormtroopers was a reference to Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones was made by Lucas. This is true. Very astute of you, Mark, and we appreciate the support. Jason says, hope Luke don't come out. What do you think about that? There's some people that don't want them to do Luke, especially Sebastian Stan Luke. What do you think about that?
I get it. I mean, it's very touchy territory when you start, recasting iconic classic OG characters from Star Wars. Right. Like, just look at what we got with Han Solo. You know what I'm saying in the Solo film. So I think that I trust them to do it, especially with Filoni and Favreau being behind it. I give them, like, right now, those two, they have earned my trust.
Yeah, agreed.
My man Mace Windu would say, like, I'm like, they can just do what they want to, like, at this point. I don't worry with them one bit. So if it was anybody else, I'd be like, nah, I don't know. But because they're involved, I don't see it. I don't think we should have that much to worry about with it.
Agreed, man. And I also want to say to everybody, look, I know it's really early in the morning, but guys, less than 300 likes, like, that's kind of embarrassing. So I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just not talk about it. you guys just move the fingers down, smash the like button, and we won't have to talk about it, and we'll just watch those likes go up because holy shit. Nolo says, thoughts on recanonizing / retelling Jango's backstory one day, Jaster, Maril, etc. I don't know. I mean, I think we're already spoiled enough to be getting Boba. Just being real. Like, we're already spoiled enough, and it's going to be cool to see Tamara Morrison do that, and the potential there is great. I don't necessarily think we need to push that and have him also playing Jango and really exploring that. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, I think we've gotten, or we have all of kind of the backstory we need for Jango. I don't think there's anything that you need to retell necessarily. If you want to kind of give a little more context to maybe some of his interaction with Boba, that's cool. Like, if you want to really kind of show, like I was saying, the whole thing with him maybe, seeing a bit of his father or getting some kind of a father vibe looking at Din Djarin with the spear. Yeah. If you want to show me scenes where you see him interacting with his father in that way, that's cool. I don't have any problem with that. But for them to go back and retcon anything, I don't think that's necessary, especially when you have within the current canon a timeline for Boba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we know what Boba's path has been up to this point. So I really don't think there's anything that you have to go back and retcon or to retell in any way.
Plus, like, there's something to be said for the fact that the show is finding very cost-effective ways to drop this lore in there. So, like, him just pulling up a chain code of Erebash and pointing to it and talking about Jango and him saying he's a foundling takes like 12 seconds, and it explains so much and fills in so many of the gaps. So, as much as, and we are getting a bunch of these dope shows and everything like that, this has always been a Star Wars thing. It's like just a little line here or a little line there or a little thing in a book can change everything. You know what I mean?
Everything.
Ed Dempsey with the $10 holla says, Filoni has been bringing back old EU characters. Any chance he brings back Mara Jade to look for Grogu to bring him back to Luke? Look, it's possible, and certainly it would have to be a different version of Mara Jade, of course, but it's possible, and at this point, you would be silly to think there's anything necessarily totally off the table. What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't think that Filoni and Favreau are trying to go that far outside of the box. Like, everything that they've done so far has been kind of contained within elements and things we've already had in this current canon. Like, there's nothing that they've really gone out there. I mean, like, Tython was kind of a deep cut, but we've so far, and I don't think this will really change. It was in one of the comics, right? So it wasn't the first time we got that. And we really, so far, if we take it at face value for what it was tonight, we really didn't focus on Tython that much.
Right.
Like, it was more of a backdrop. So I don't see them really going in that far or that deep into the Legends bag. At least not this season. Maybe down the line we might start getting that, but Mara Jade, I just don't really know. I don't really think that would be a direction they would go.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great character, so maybe something similar for sure. But it's the problem, I think, with doing Mara is people just want her to fall in love with Luke and do that whole thing. So, like, as soon as you start having that character and then maybe you do Sebastian Stan and Luke, it's like, dude, you're getting too close to, like, breaking people's hearts. Right. So maybe you just don't do her. I mean, look, there's a lot of great stuff happening right now, but we got to be real. Like, there's just stuff that's different. Like, the sequel trilogy was different, so there's stuff that's different now. So for some of the fun, it's going to see how they fit it all together. But I think it's a great question, and it's cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Lavis says, Al and Lavis are the truth. We got this speculation down, man. Episode 7, squad up, battle begins. Episode 8, showdown. No Ahsoka, but reveal the Jedi. Hey, man, look, you done good. What do you want me to say? You done good. My
man Lavis, boy, look, I try to tell these people, man, you better let them know about us, man.
Right. Mike Motherfucking Porter says, how did that badass fall in the pit? # Team Boba. I know, right? Yeah, it's pretty tough to imagine, but yeah, man, that dude was doing work, dude.
Yeah,
Holsis Life, the $5 holla says, Are we about to get into the part of the story where Din is about to round up all his allies to go to war with the new Empire? It really looks like it. What did you make of that scene with Boba saying the Empire's back? What do you think about that?
I think that was just because Boba at the time where the Empire fell was probably still somewhere in that Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
Trying to like Boba was probably just trying to get out of the pit. And really, because that's one of the questions that I've always had.
Everybody kind of felt. Well, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like, what is the or what do people understand of what happened with the battle on Endor and the second Death Star? Like, I know everybody knows, and everybody had to see that the Death Star was destroyed. So, and that the Empire's fallen, but do they know what what exactly is going on, or what in what context do they know that? And so I think with Boba, it's more of a situation where him saying they're back, it's like in his mind, he sees the ship and he's like, oh yeah, that's the Empire, they're back. Like the last I knew, they were here kicking up dust, and then I got swallowed up in a Sarlacc pit. I came out, there was no Empire, but here they are again. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think he really has that context necessarily that there are Imperial remnants and anything like that. I think he just automatically was like, yep, they're back.
Yeah, it's interesting because he would know. He's worked for them before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I love that scene too, by the way, where, he's just going up and he comes out of the clouds and sees the thing and he's like, whoa, like, he knows they're back. It's interesting because it really seems like it's just one cruiser out of the fleet, dude. It's just one cruiser.
Yeah.
This is crazy, But
that's it, man.
Absolutely insane. And then the Dark Troopers, god dang, dude, crazy.
Oh my god, yeah, that was crazier than I even thought, man. That was wild.
And they didn't even do nothing. They just grabbed the homie up,
right? Just grabbed him and took off. It was like, all right, we out of here.
Did more than the Knights of Ren in an entire trilogy. Okay, Mandalorian just got dark. Trucker Mark USA says, "Thank you so much for the for the super chat. Appreciate you." Dafter with the $10 holla says, "You think we will get a Jedi assemble? Maybe multiple Jedi show up. Luke, Mace, Ezra, Ahsoka. What do you think, Al? Multiple Jedi, or are we just getting that Luke boy?"
No, I think if I had to put some money on it, it'd be just Luke. I think they've got to give us some semblance of our consciousness and our brains. Like, you give us all these Jedi on screen at one time, and our brains would literally melt.
Agreed.
Like, it wouldn't be a damn thing left to either one of us, man. They can't do us like that.
Agreed.
Nah.
We'll see. I'm also interested in if the Luke show. I'm also wondering if Luke shows up and he has nothing to do with the story, but he shows up to Tython and it possibly sets something else up.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's what, with him, that's why I was saying, like with him being with them being gone from Tython, Luke can show up there, and that might even be something we get in the Mandalorian. Like, that could be in a totally different series. Like, it could be anything. And where you get this scene where Luke shows up on Tython and you see like all of these stormtroopers just laying around at this seeing stone. Man. And that's the crazy part. Or it may not even be Luke. It could be, in the Ezra series or something like that. Yeah. It could be something like that where, that's the thing that starts to lead all of these people back together. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the dots could connect in that way. So it's so many possibilities, man. It's just so many possibilities.
Man. I'm very interested to see. Yeah, I get a feeling it's going to be Luke, but it's also possible that Luke just shows up and doesn't do anything with them, But Luke is out there looking for temples like this. He would feel a call like this, right?
Right, but exactly.
Then again, you have to ask yourself, well, how's Mando just Uber out to or Google Maps out to Tython, no problem, and Luke is like taking forever to find all this shit out there? You know what I mean? So it's like a little confusing. I'm hoping that maybe we get a little more of an explanation there. But yeah, a Jedi team up, of course, would be dope. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's just one. Lavish Black Mang says, happy birthday, Mang. Take Millennium Falcon out. Oh, hell yeah, man. I'm going to have a good old time this weekend, but I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be safe, though. Vito says, wow, Josh got jokes. Still love you, man. Still love you, too. I love you the same way you love Boba. Oh, man, I don't care. I've been waiting for Boba's redemption since his ignoramus death for 37 years. Glad to see Boba sees the light. Heck yeah, man. That's cool shit. Garrett with the $5 holler says, do you think they will dip more into the Old Republic era for lore and put more of it in the show, or save it for other projects? Also, happy birthday. Thank you, Garrett. I think a little bit of both. I think we're going to get a little more tease, but I do think it's coming in more other projects. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, I think like Old Republic, and this is the interesting thing, right? Is I think now a lot of the Old Republic will be in different projects. Like I don't think it'll necessarily be a Mandalorian, but you can now tie, or you have a through line to kind of connect all of that together, because Tython could very well be a planet that has a big role in the High Republic once that comes out, and that may be one of the places and one of the ways that you start to see some of that Old Republic lore kind of brought in, and now we have a through line that allows you to connect all of that together and make this like tapestry of content that all kind of tells the same story. So if they do it, like I said, I think it'll be in a different project also.
Yeah, I strongly believe that Old Republic content is coming, and that Tython may have something to do with it, which is also really cool. I want to address something I saw in chat, not from a super chat, but somebody said something like, I was worried when I saw the episode length, but then after I watched it, I was really cool with it. So this is something I was talking about with regards to pacing, and let me just explain. So if you would have taken this exact episode, but put in a bunch more space, bunch more slow scenes, more atmosphere, maybe a slow build up to getting to Tython, essentially you would create this sort of jerking feeling where you're like, okay, it's really, really slow. And then bam, oh my God, it's crazy action, boom, 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 boom. And then, okay, it's really, really slow. And then bam, it's really actiony, crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, so part of the reason that these more fast-paced episodes like the Bo-Katan episode and this episode are shorter is because the pacing around all the action also needs to feel in rhythm with it. So everything has to move at sort of a faster clip. So I wasn't, when I saw the length or when I heard about the length, I was like, it's going to be fine, dude. It's going to be crazy, So, yeah. I think if Luke shows up, he'll overshadow the series. Yeah, I understand that, man. I totally get that. And, hey, I love Ezra, so I wouldn't be mad about it. How do you feel about Mace now, says Dan Mitchell? I would not mind Mace. I don't really think Mace is coming, though. That would be wild as hell. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, man. Like, we talked about this on After Dark, too, man. And it's like, if you're going to give me Mace, you better have a damn good reason for him being off the scene all this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, and he would have had to have been the person who got Grogu out of the temple. And I mean, we kind of talked about it and kicked around some ideas. And I mean, technically you could, there is a possibility or a way, I could see a way that they do it, because I mean, we always talk about the fact that it seemed like in the prequel trilogy, Yoda and Mace were on, like, knew some shit that like the rest of the Jedi Council didn't know. Right. And maybe Grogu, if they wanted to go that route, then you could say Grogu had something to do with that. And like Mace got wind of the Order 66, he got Grogu up out of there and made it kind of his thing to watch over him, kind of the same way they did with Luke. But I don't see that. Like, I really don't see them going that far with it. I'd love to get Mace Windu back.
For sure.
I would love to see how they would do that, but I don't want, that's a character that I personally wouldn't want to see tied to Mandalorian.
Yeah, again, it's crazy, it's wild, to be fun, but I just really think that's touching that edge for me. You know what I mean? Grogu is the gauntlet. We need a superhero team to retrieve him. I love for Filoni to make the sequels Luke clone from his hand. Luke and Mara. Hey, look, that'd be kind of interesting, actually. Rob Kenobi says Grogu about to go ham like Yoda in Attack of the Clones with baby-sized lightsabers. Y'all are the best. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man. Appreciate you there.
Appreciate you.
more so Jango comic book. Hey, there you go, Nolo. I like that, actually. They could absolutely do that in a book or a comic, and I would be down. In fact, Jango Fett novel, Claudia Gray, make it happen. Let's go. By the way,
please,
Al, side note. First time
Yeah.
I got excited about High Republic in a long time was the special edition cover. You see that?
I have not.
You got to check it out. They're like riding. It's like Jedi riding mounts towards like some of the Nile on like mounted Jedi combat. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I'm about to look at that, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucky Croc 108 with the $10 holla says, what about Tamara Morrison's performance? He's definitely one of the top legendary Star Wars actors from now on. You guys rock, especially the nerd with the facial hair, glasses, and black hair. Yeah, that's both of us. I see what you did there.
Right.
Yeah, dude, his performance was great and vicious, bro.
Dude, this is why in Filoni and Favreau, we have to now trust just like Feige, because it wasn't enough to just bring Boba back.
Right.
And it wasn't enough to get, Tamir Morrison to play the role.
Right.
You brought him back and you gave us the Boba that everybody wanted.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wanted to see Boba come out here and just wreck shop. And this dude, like, just went ham on everybody. Like, damn near took everybody out himself. And that's one of the things is, aside from even maybe Ahsoka, I think Ahsoka's probably the only other character we've seen outshine Din in combat. Like, he's the only one. Boba might have outshined both of them,
right?
just because of the sheer veracity of, like, the way, like, or ferocity, not veracity. Like, it's late early in the morning, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But just the way, like, he went at dude, like, the way he was smacking these damn stormtroopers and, like, just like, there's like stepping on like skull, like just going in, bro. And it's like just busting them up. And that like caught me off guard, because number one, it's Disney, so you don't expect them. I get it. They it's not like they totally shy away from violence, but like that was more like grit,
it was
like
dark, dude.
grimy,
it reminded me of
like
an action
dark.
Bronson something crazy action movie, dude.
Yeah,
like, brutal, bro. And like he has a couple like snarls in the whole thing too, where you're just like, yo, he's a bad dude right here.
Yeah, he is in it. He is in it, and he is not playing games, man. So no, I loved it.
It's a great performance for sure. Arya Arkham says, is it just me, or the destruction of the Razor Crest added to the Pedro Pascal issue might foreshadow Din's death by the end of the season? It could. My God. I don't think so. I think Din's important.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. I don't think the destruction of the Razor Crest is any type of foreshadowing in terms of Din's fate. I think it's more so a convenient way to put Boba more in focus.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you think about it, when you go back and you look at like the Razor Crest, it was like barely get by anyway. Like they kind of foreshadowed that we were going like this shit wasn't gonna make it the whole season. And so looking at it, I don't think if anybody in this episode or in this series were to die prematurely, believe it or not, my money would be on Grogu.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, because it kind of makes it kind of makes sense for him to get taken out of the picture. Actually, Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, the way they set this episode up at the beginning, I thought that was exactly what was about to happen. Tragedies don't end well by definition, right? So it was like, whoa, like you read that or whatever. Yeah.
The tragedy, not only that, but the scene, the music, that whole, intro dialogue with Din. I'm like, is this dude like doing a eulogy like this? Because, generally, like when people start talking about like, oh, I can't wait to get this done so I can finally rest. And you know what? If we finally get this right, I'm going to turn my life. That's what it felt like to me. Like Din was like, don't you want to go be a Jedi and be all you can be and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, it did kind of.
And then like, yeet, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought. But I mean, but it was equally as impactful though, the fact that, he's now with back with Moff Gideon because it's still, you know, tragic. It still fits the theme, and it's still sad because you look at that situation, and you even with Din having access to the resources he has, you got to wonder how they're going to end up. Like, is let this creature like slip through his fingers twice?
Right.
Like, is he really going to let that happen twice? I don't see it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Crazy. Let's see here. Immersive person says, is it just me, or do Gideon and Grogu seem to have more of a history than we thought? I absolutely agree with that, actually. Kartik Sharma with the 100 rupees. Thank you so much. My sad theory, even if Din dies of old age, Grogu will be too young to remember Din when he grows old. What do you think? Man, that's sad. He's not even going to remember.
Say that one more time because I didn't register with me.
He said basically Grogu's going to be so young, he's not even going to remember Din when he gets older.
No, I totally
That's
disagree
messed
with that
up,
one.
man.
Like, that's now again my wish. This will never happen. But what would be dope to me is you get an older, like ultra powerful Grogu that reunites with Din, and he force chokes him to death.
Yeah,
Like, right at that moment, like evil baby Yoda all the way, right? Like, oh, it's so touching. They finally reunite. Wait, what's he doing? What is he doing? Like, that would be sick. Well, but I don't think.
My
but
name
it
you
would
will
still
say.
be sick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, disappointed
Yeah.
Boba didn't comment how much better clones were. Needed Jedi's eyes opening for meditation to finish the episode. Jetpack forgot was lame. Wait, what? Jetpack forgot was lame. I don't know what that means. But yeah, Jedi eyes opening would have been really cool. How much better clones were. Oh, then Stormtroopers. Yeah, that would have been kind of fun to see for sure. But he's had experience with both of them. You know what I mean? So not necessarily out of character or unexpected. So
No doubt.
Al, what the heck's happening next episode? Well, let's leave on this, guys. Don't send in any more super chats. My brain is mashed potatoes. So I just want to ask Al this last thing here, and then we outie. We love you all. But Al, what is happening next episode, bro? What's happening? Where are we going?
I think the next episode, man, is just like it's time to call in the heavy hitters. Like, I think Din's gonna round up just about everybody he can. He's gonna get all his intel. He's gonna figure out how they're gonna attack and set up. They're gonna set up that season finale, man. And it's gonna be Gideon and his peoples versus Din and his peoples.
Yeah.
And Grogu will hang in the balance.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go get Mayfield, likely. Maybe get a couple other players. Maybe see what was going on with that Jedi calling thing. And then, I think we'll tee up a pretty epic and incredible season finale. Now, I think it's possible they drop a really crazy bomb, like show us live action Thrawn or something wild next week because of the investor call. The investor call comes out.
You're right.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my prediction.
No, I'm with you on that. I didn't even think about that, man. But yeah, whatever it is, man, it's the final two. So it's gonna pack a punch, man.
I would not have believed in a million years it would have been this crazy this season. This season has been so impressive to me.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
It's been wild. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call it there.
Hold up. Before you call it, let me do this now, sir. Happy birthday, my guy. Man, this ride we are on is incredible. And to be doing it with you, my dude, like, enjoy your time, man. Enjoy your time, recharge, come back at it. But, bro,
thank you, brother.
Happy birthday, man.
And if you guys don't know, Al has been with me for a long, long time. He was the first ever executive producer. And, we've been doing this for a while, and we're having some success right now.
Man.
You know, things are pretty exciting. And, Yeah, it's really cool, bro. Like we're doing some big things,
Yeah.
and I can't wait till next year when all the Marvel stuff's happening
Oh,
too.
man.
And I mean, we're gonna be doing. You guys are gonna see a lot of me and Al hanging out at weird hours talking about
Yeah,
nerdy stuff.
I'm here for it, man. This is what I'm here
Yeah,
for,
it's gonna be
man.
great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much. As I always say, I hope you guys are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.